Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome to another podcast. It's great to be back with you, sharing some more tried, tested and proven ideas to grow your business. Today I've got a thought for you, and that thought is that every type of marketing that you do and I do and everybody does works. But also, on the flip side, every type of marketing that you do and I do and everybody else does doesn't work. What am I saying? I'm saying that it's not the type of marketing that is the problem, it's the quality of the marketing. In other words, you can try any type of marketing. You can do email, you can do social media, you could exhibit, you could do direct mail or telemarketing or, just about any type of marketing on the planet. And you can do it really, really well and create an abundance of income and profit from it. Or you can do it really, really badly and create no money and it just be a cost and something that, literally burns a hole in your pocket. So the question is, how could you become better at marketing? Because if you're serious about growing your business and you want to do that and you're willing to take action in order to do so, then, really there's only one way, and that is to create more sales. That's ultimately the only way of really growing a business. True, there are two ways of increasing profit in the business, and that is to reduce costs and increase sales. But if you're really committed to growing your business and making more profit, then really there's only way, and that is to increase sales. Now, the process of sales and marketing and the difference between the two, in my mind, is that marketing is lead generation, generating the leads from the various sources of marketing that you're doing, and then sales takes over, and that is lead conversion. So sales and marketing, another word for it, is literally lead generation and lead conversion. And they're the two things that you've got to be good at. So the big question is, how do you become better at sales and marketing? How do you become better at lead generation and lead conversion? Well, the truth is, I can't tell you on this podcast today. I can't go through every single type of marketing and tell you how to improve it. I can't, today tell you, everything that you need to know about sales and how to become better at it. What I can do is give you some fundamentals, some fundamental keys to it. So I think probably the first thing I'd say is that, it all starts with getting an understanding of how effective you are right now. If we're going to try and become better, we need to know how good we are, because if we're going to change things in our marketing, then, we can sometimes change and get a worse result, even though we think it's the right thing to do. So understanding your marketing numbers. So I'll give you an example. If you're using LinkedIn and you're putting time, effort and money into posting and following people up and connecting and all the things that you could and should be doing on LinkedIn, then, we need to know what is your return on investment. In other words, how many leads do you create per month and how many sales do you create per month? Because without that, how do we know what we need to do in order to improve? So if we look at it and say, right, okay, this is the result that we're getting right now, what can we do to improve it? Well, for me, it would start with your profile, making sure your profile's as good as possible, possibly changing your headline or your pictures or your banner or your summary, possibly the number of testimonials or recommendations that you've got on LinkedIn. We then have to look at your number of people that you're connected to. Have you got 42 connections or, 30,000 connections? So it might be that we need to grow the number of people that are seeing your marketing messages. It could be the quality of the marketing messages, the posts that you're posting on LinkedIn on a daily basis, or perhaps it's the number of posts. If you're posting out once a week, you're probably not going to win much business from doing that, so you need to do it more often. It could be that you're not using the paid-for side of LinkedIn, and therefore you need to have a look and then investigate into the LinkedIn advertising, the remarketing, the in-mailing, the sponsoring posts, etc., and all the different ways that you can market yourself, albeit in a paid-for manner on LinkedIn. The next thing you might want to look at is, how do I get more people from LinkedIn onto my website? And again, there's many ways of doing that, which I haven't got time to go into today, but that might be something that you want to think about. The other thing and final thing I'll say to you about LinkedIn is networking. And if you're going to go networking, you want to try and do it personally. And the best way for me of winning business on LinkedIn is when I do it personally. In other words, when I start to speak to people, when I pick up the phone, when I communicate with them on a one-to-one basis via email. Not talking about sending out mass emails to thousands of people. I'm talking about me emailing one person and then perhaps picking up the phone and speaking to them, or arranging to meet them, or offering them a place on a free webinar or a free report or something like that. So, that's just one example of many different hundreds of ways of marketing yourself. And if I said to you, if we looked at exhibitions, I'm sure we could think of together probably 10, 20, maybe even more ways that you could improve the effectiveness of your exhibition marketing. What about your email? Do you think we could improve something within that? How many are you sending out? If you're sending out a quarterly newsletter, then I know we can improve it in some way, because we could do more of it. If you're doing telemarketing, how many calls are you making? Are you calling the right people? What are you saying? When people say, I want to think about it, what do you say then? And so on and so forth. So, whilst this, podcast is not going to answer every question that you could possibly have, I hope it sowed the seed of thought that it's not about, behaving like a butterfly that I see with people. They try something. We had a client a little while ago. He tried Facebook advertising. We thought, and he thought, it might be a good way for him to win business. He tried it for about 3 weeks and then cancelled his account and closed his advertising down. I could have told him at the start, within 3 weeks, it's probably not going to work. Marketing's a long-term investment, and it takes time and it takes testing to improve it. It's a little bit like getting fit, or learning a sport. You can't go and learn how to play golf in 6 weeks. It just isn't going to work for you. It takes sometimes years, and it can take years or at least a year for marketing to work really, really effectively. So that's about it. That's about all I've got to say to you for today. Really, the message is, don't behave like a butterfly going from one idea to another. Rather, find something, become really, really good at it, take time to do so, and then go and find some other way of growing your business. So you're not just reliant on Facebook advertising, but you got Facebook advertising and email and search engines and your website and referral. You've got a referral system in your business, a way of winning business from referral, and so on and so forth. So that's it. Thank you ever so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this short but very powerful podcast. I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future. And in the meantime, if we can help you in any way, please just go to www.stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening.